All right, guys. Pretty scratchy in the Charity Cup, if we're being honest. We just got past Western Suburbs. I know they're a good team, but I'd like us to step things up here, okay? So if they're a bit more positive, it's Tupuji Imere. Like, we should be handling them pretty comfortably, okay? So let's get through this, go to the semis, and look forward to beating Western Suburbs more comfortably in the Champions League final, okay? We need to keep winning the Champions League.
Party in the streets and the city's on fire.
Hello everyone and welcome to episode number 143 of the New Zealand Builder Nation here on Shaun Does FM with both the All Whites and Kashmir Technical. I hope you're doing well, and come up today we've got the quarterfinals of the 2038 OFC Champions League. We take on Tupuji Imere, who are from Vanuatu, over 2 leagues, but we might only need to show you guys one of those leagues because they're Tupuji Imere, but I'm looking forward to that coming up in today's episode. Then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated. But today, quite a big episode with the All Whites. If you missed it, I'll leave a link to it over in the top right corner just below. You'll be able to see the results from the 2 games that we did play, just enough to keep hold of the soccer ashes before beating an even higher ranked Japan, and potentially, more importantly, had the draw for the FIFA World Cup later this year. And what a draw it was for us. We have got a very nice group, considering who we could have got. Actually got a chance now of topping a group for the first time at a World Cup. But we're going to switch now to Kashmir Technical mode pretty much for the rest of this week and make our way through the OFC Champions League, starting off with the quarterfinals. Of course, late last week we did make our way through the group stages of this competition, won all 3 games, even though one of them, the one we showed you guys, was pretty close. We're going to take on Tupuji Imere, who finished second. Let's just check what group it was in. It was in Group A. So the group that played the same time as we did, they actually did quite well. 2 wins from 3. They did lose to Tigger Sport, and those guys, they are currently taking on Tafia, a goal-heavy quarterfinal there, currently behind by 5 goals to 3. But as you can see, with a late kickoff for the first leg of this one, the other results, Western Suburbs 5-1 over AS Magenta. You'd still imagine it's setting up for an all-New Zealand final, because this year we are going to be taking on one of Waniagu or Labasa in the semis. So it looks pretty good for an all-New Zealand final in the Champions League this season. And to be fair, that other quarterfinal so far is the closest. Labasa 2-1 in front over Waniagu. So that's what's happened so far in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. But Tupuji Imere, there should be a team we can handle very comfortably, hopefully by a big margin in this first leg at home. Just show you guys the highlights of the second leg, and we can make our way forward into the semis in tomorrow's episode. In terms of our squad going into this one, there's not too much change off of the back of the end of last week, because of course all players that were registered for the Champions League, we haven't been able to add any more, despite that signing of the new Brazilian left back. But a couple of injuries. Jack Honey, a bruised thigh. He's the 3rd choice All Whites left back, but also the 3rd choice left back here at Kashmir Technical. And I say that actually he's 4th choice with the Brazilian coming into that one. Doesn't actually hurt us too much, but above that, a more serious injury. Chris Greenidge, our 1st choice left winger, he is out with a fractured lower leg. I think he actually suffered that in the second of our group stage games. In the Champions League, he's out for a further 8 days to 2 weeks. So hopefully we'll be back in time for the semi-finals, but it does mean that Osorio, our Chilean left winger, he will get a run as the 1st choice. And to be fair, I didn't realise this until the Charity Cup that we played before yesterday's episode, but he counts as a local because he's also part Australian. So he was a better signing than I thought he was. Quite good attribute-wise, a bit worse than Chris Greenidge, but still, that's a very good backup, especially because he doesn't take up a foreign spot like I thought he did. So a good pickup for us there on a free, the part Australian Chilean, but that's really the only change to our regular best 11 at Kashmir Tech for this first leg of the Champions League quarterfinals, where hopefully we can pick up a good result and take a step towards the semis as we take on Tupuji Imere. And here are the team sheets for the first leg of this Champions League quarterfinal from my arena. As we ran through before, just one change to our usual best 11. Osorio, the Australian Chilean, at left wing with that injury to Chris Greenidge, but apart from that, full strength Tupuji Imere there are going with a 5-2-1-2, so quite a defensive formation there, which hopefully means we can get on the front foot and batter them a little bit. Actually, forgot to show you guys the tactical changes that we made off the back of that Charity Cup game. I might show you them off the back of this game that we are about to play. It's a very early highlight here. As you can tell, we have gone to an attacking mentality because it did work late against Western Suburbs, but already Debenham was on the attack there. Unfortunately, that pass did get cut out inside the box, but thankfully back on the ball, albeit that one from Debenham, that does get blocked, and a chance here for Tupuji Imere to do something on the counter-attack in the white with the orange shorts and the beefy. They had a bit of space down the right-hand side there, thankfully. Just take a bit too much time. We can get back in there. Good interception. That should have been from Anderson on our left-hand side out to Diop. And now we switch sides out there to Wale Kali. Just cuts in field a bit. Janssen, and now there it is Azorio who makes his way into the final third. Shot there saved from Avok in goal, but it falls very kindly to Wale Kali. He was pretty average when he came back from injury last season, but this time no Salcedo. Instead we've got Mazinho, the young Brazilian, but that is a pretty solid finish, to be fair. I think Azorio here did most of the hard work for him. Did have to beat the defender, and to be fair, not much of a gap there between him and where the goalkeeper was able to cover, but thankfully Khalid picks it out nicely, and we take an early 1-0 lead, and shortly off the back of that, a free kick in our favour inside the final third. Unfortunately, Debenham puts a bit too much on that one, but then Clark floats that one far post, and Hosafa coming in this season, because of course he's an under-20 player. Him and Harrison Debenham are our only ones, so hopefully no injuries to those two. Otherwise, going to have to play a few youth intake prospects here at Kashmir Tech from the last couple of years, but thankfully getting off to a very hot start in this one. 2 early goals inside 3 minutes. And we continue the hot start here, it looks like, with a throw-in inside the final third here, just shy of the 10-minute mark. Debenham gets that one back, puts this far post for Azorio, who also hits the target. That's a really good hit of that one into the top left corner. Our Chilean-Australian gets his first goal in the new season here at Kashmir Tech, because that has ticked over off the back of the group stages at the end of last week. I think he scored a couple back in the group stages, though, in those games that we did play. But Debenham this time, that ball is right on the money, and that header pretty much into the top left corner, and already we're 3-0 in front. And going forward 5 minutes from that third goal, and again here we might be on the attack with a corner, and Harrison Debenham will take this one, looking for someone there inside the box. Can't quite find him, but good little outside the foot pass there from Janssen. Back out to Debenham, will pick up yet another assist. This time our left back Asana Diop will give an early praise here as we just tick over the 15-minute mark, because we already are looking pretty good for a spot in the semis of the Champions League this season. The Tupuji Imere don't look too good based on this, but to be fair, those changes that we've made off the back of that Charity Cup, where we just picked up a win over Western Suburbs, are definitely working, because we're already 4-0 in front. Albeit only a few minutes, we'll think of that fourth goal. There is a highlight again in our favour, but this time a lot deeper inside our own half. But to be fair, doesn't take us too long there. Hosafa, a big run, finds Janssen, and now Azorio just does his man there down the left-hand side. Let's see if he can put this ball on the money, looking far post, but it's punched clear there by the goalkeeper for the opposition. And now Debenham, who's already picked up quite a few assists, makes his way into the box, and he'll get another one there. That pass might have taken a bit of a deflection, but Azorio, right place, right time to poke that one home. He already gets himself on a hat-trick, and this is complete one-way traffic. This is definitely what you expect to see from a team like us in this stage of the OFC Champions League, pretty much against any team who is not Western Suburbs. But a very hot start, already 5-0 in front. Now I can barely catch my breath at this stage, because now only a few minutes later there's a corner hit in our favour, and that header does come off the post, but we are still on the attack. It goes back to Diop, and that one gets through the hands of Avok, and at the 20-minute mark we are 6-0 in front, and both players down our left-hand side are sitting on hat-tricks. Now it's also Diop as well as Azorio. That first header there did come off the woodwork, but Janssen will find Diop. That one did get a touch there from Avok, but still found its way into the top left corner, and we're 6-0 in front. And the action continues now. A free kick for us here, a few minutes off back of that 6th goal. Diop gets his head on the end of that one, looking for a hat-trick. Unfortunately, that one goes just over the bar. Still 6-0 in front though. And we just made our way into the last 10 minutes of this first half. Things have slowed down a bit off the back of that ridiculous start, those first 20 minutes, and taking that 6-0 lead. And Debenham makes his way forward yet again, looking there for Azorio on a hat-trick, but goes back out to Diop, also on a hat-trick, and does quite well there to keep the ball despite that challenge from one of the Tupuji Imere players. Now Clark, he'll find Debenham, who takes on the shot. That one comes off the woodwork, and Zoomers with a header, but the goalkeeper just scrambles that wide, not by much. Almost looked like there it might still find its way into the back of net, but the goalkeeper there with a rare save in this half for Tupuji Imere, and Anderson can't quite hit the target. And a bit of a drought here in this game, goal scoring wise. Now been about 20 minutes since we scored one. Might be time to demand more if we don't score from this highlight. Looking for Khalid, the far post. It's clear, but Debenham back on the ball. A real nuisance so far for the opposition in this game. Gets brought down, and apparently it was a foul. So a penalty, and Osorio with a chance to complete his hat-trick. Goalkeeper goes the right way, but just beats him. And Fernando Osorio, the Chilean-Australian, with a hat-trick here at Kashmir. I'm pretty sure it's his first one since he's joined the club, because we didn't score too many goals back in the group stages of this competition. This is definitely our best performance so far this season, even though the opposition are not too hot based on the stats. But that is a very, very good first half. Absolute domination, 7-0 in front. You can pretty much already book our ticket in the semis of the Champions League this season. I don't think we're going to make any changes, because why would we, with a 7-0 lead? And just like the first half action early on here in the second, it's a throw in there for Tupuji Imere just inside their own half. They did have the ball down their left-hand side, but not for too long. Louis Evans there wins it back for us. Let's see if we can match our feats from the first half. Host Upper played that one forward to Clark, but be fair, not good work from him. Demas, bit of a Demas there with that pass he has tried to play. Clark gets a block on it, then they try and play it over the top. Anderson down for Clark, and now a chance for us here. Janssen, nice ball there for Khalid. Tight angle, he tries to square this one. It does get cleared away there briefly by Tupuji Imere, but Janssen, he'll find Debenham, who already has a ton of assists in this game. Does quite well. They keep hold of the ball, and Janssen with a shot, but that one does get saved. To be fair, though, not too sure how much of an idea the goalkeeper had about that one, but it does mean another chance for us here from a corner. Debenham plays that one in for Janssen. Bit of a Demas he was that time, because he just takes that one out for a throw-in to the opposition. Still 7-0 early in the second half. And we just made our way past the hour mark in this game, so definitely the second half's been a bit slower than the first one, but we are on the attack here again through Harrison Debenham down our right-hand side, going far post there for Fernando Osorio, and that's now an open play hat-trick for him. He puts that one away past Avoct and makes it 8-0. Very good performance here, and we'll definitely be going through the semis. I think we'll just show you guys the highlights of that second leg, unless we do even better, like the All Whites did against PNG in our World Cup qualifying final last week. But this has been a superb performance so far. Osorio now has 4 goals and makes it 8-0. And just making our way into the last 20 minutes of this game, it might be time for us to make some subs off the back of what we see here. But a goal kick, and we do try and make our way here out from there. And be fair, doesn't take us too long. Debenham will find Sam Clark, and a nice ball out there to Osorio, looking for 5. Takes on the shot. Decent save there from Avoc. It will go out for a throw, so I think that might be that highlight done and dusted, and indeed that is the case. And now it's time for us here to make some subs. We might just see who needs the game time. We'll take off Osorio. He's been superb. We need to keep our left wingers fresh with that injury to Greenidge, so the Hotman de Villiers can come on for him. Also looks like Isaac Hughes might need game time. He can come on for Tim Anderson. We'll take off Debenham, who's been really good. A 10 rating for Phil Wilson. Also, Corona can come on for Louis Evans, and Castro definitely needs some game time. He can come on for Ezra Zumas. That will be all our subs, Shaun. It's a Kashmir Tech game, not an All Whites one, where I usually schedule 6 subs. There will be all our subs going in the last 15 minutes of this game. Hopefully, those players can get some rings. And right off the back of that, another highlight for us here of Fran inside the final third. Khalid gets his header on the end of that one, just high and wide though, still 8-0. And just made our way into the last 10 minutes of this game, and there's now a corner here in our favour, looking near far post for Hosafa, but this time can't find him, and Avoc will claim that one for Tupuji Imere, but 8-0 in front. This has been a really good performance in only the first leg. This could get quite ugly overall scoreline-wise once we do the deed over in Vanuatu, but that deep ball there from Tupuji Imere, Cifuentes comes out on the edge of the box to claim that one, throws that one out to Phil Wilson, who starts to make his way forward, just cuts that one inside there to Janssen, and nice ball over the top for Walid. Khalid squares that one nicely for Castro, who was onside, but misses an absolute sitter, so it's still 8-0. We now make our way the last 5 minutes of this game. To be fair, Tupuji Imere have got more shots off in the second half, but we're already 7-0 up by half time, so it kind of was game over by that stage. We do lose position there briefly, but thankfully they pump it deep. Cifuentes comes out of his box, and we get it back, but that pass there, Wilson looking for Corona, not very good. Engineering can start to make his way forward here down the left-hand side for the Vanuatu team. Diop will hit that one clear, but it goes back into the mix here looking for Avok. Thankfully, we just hid that one away, but they can do the same yet again, and Avok goes a bit deeper. Our defenders don't jump. He beats Cifuentes. To be fair, that's not the worst thing. No clean sheet bonus, but it's no clean sheet for us in this game. That makes it 8-1, but financially, that might not be too bad. The finances have got worse again, unfortunately, off the back of that good year we had going to the Club World Cup last year. But they grab a goal back there late, do Tupuji Imere, but it is definitely just a consolation goal. Don't think they got much chance of turning this one around in the second leg, even though it was actually 1-1 in the second half, a bit like the All Blacks, how they didn't do too well after the subs they made against Argentina on the weekend. We did something similar there by the looks of it, but that was a very good first half. 7-0 in front. Azorio made 4 goals nice and early. In the second half, Diop, he popped up with 2 as well, so those 2 had very good games. The other goals were the early ones there to Khaled and Hosafa, and 8-1 after the first leg. We'll come back shortly, recap the second leg, and then see who we've got out of Labasa or Waniagu in the semis tomorrow. And we are back with the highlights from the second leg of this Champions League quarterfinal. There wasn't too much riding on this game, so we did play a full rotation. The first goal early in our favour, Mazinho there with a deflected shot, so it did beat the goalkeeper, so that made it 1-0 on the day. And I think that was 9-1 on aggregate, but to be fair, only a few minutes later, decent shot there from Avok. He picks up a double in the tie and makes it 1-1 on the day. That was the score at half-time, so our rotation not doing too well in the first half of this game, but early stages of the second half, Mazinho beats the Avocan goal from a tight angle to make it 2-1, and with about 10 minutes left here, Wilsner plays a nice ball forward to Ezra Zumas off of the bench, who puts that one just inside of the right-hand post, so we win there 3-1 in the away leg, and 11-2 on aggregate, so that is a very convincing win there over in Vanuatu in Port Vila to book our spot in the semi-finals of the Champions League this season. A quick look at what else happened in the second legs of these ties. Western Suburbs 4-0, they go through 9-1, so to be fair, quite similar in terms of performance to us. That one over AS Magenta Tafia, 3-1 win in the second leg. They knock out Tigger Sport 8-4 in aggregate, and the close quarterfinal is the one that we need to keep an eye out on. Labasa win on away goals, Waniagu 1-0 in the second leg, but of course Labasa 2-1 away from home in the first leg. They go through to face us because of the away goals rule. So that does set up these semi-finals. We take on Labasa, Western Suburbs. They will take on Tafia. Still looking pretty good for a All New Zealand final, albeit you can see it there and you'll see it shortly once we make our way over back to the inbox. Actually, a couple of injuries as well from that second leg. Phil Wilson out for 3 weeks. So we're going to be a bit weak at right back. Thankfully, Isaac Hughes can also cover that position. But that's not too good, especially just as we're about to start the Southern League season before that first leg of the Champions League semi. Juan Carlos Castro, tight calf, thankfully that one not too serious. We'll just chuck him onto general rehab. But there is the first leg against Labasa being played at Subrau Park. I don't know if we've done a bus trip there. I might need to check on that, but it could be a bus trip, seeing as that will be the first leg. So we could sneak that in tomorrow's episode, provided that we do get the job done like we're expecting to quite comfortably in the first leg of that one, and probably going to set up an All New Zealand final for the Champions League this season also, because I promised it early stages of that previous game. Here are the changes that we have made to our tactic. The roles are all the same. We've just gone attacking in terms of our mentality and dropped the tempo down, albeit I think I already said that we were doing that. From transition, we are distributing to fullbacks. Not too many changes, apart from the fact we're just going with an attacking mentality. But it did work there against Tupuji Imere. Hopefully, we'll do the job over Western Suburbs if we play them in the Champions League final in a couple of days' time. But that will do it for today's episode. Good win there over Tupuji Imere. And it does mean we've now got Labasa in the semis of the Champions League. If you enjoyed it, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well until tomorrow for that semi-final where we take on Labasa, which might also include a bus trip if we haven't already done one to Subrau Park. Until then, thank you very much for watching, keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.